Hello, children. Merry fucking. I'm sorry. I don't want to curse when I say that. Merry Christmas, everybody. I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. It is very late. I'm getting this review to you for two reasons. One, it would have been up earlier, but Warner Brothers had to be Warner Brothers and say, "Oh yeah, we're not releasing Wonder Woman until 12 o'clock in the afternoon." So blame them. Also because Kevin had things to do because he's Kevin. He's Kevin. So Wonder Woman 1984 is the sequel to the very, very, very good Wonder Woman, directed by Patty Jenkins, and is once again directed by Patty Jenkins, and stars Gal Gadot, whatever, Chris Pine as Steve Trevor, Maxwell Lord, played by Pedro Pascal, the Mandalorian himself, minus one Baby Yoda. Cheetah, played by Kristen Wiig. Um, Pretty sure that's it. I'm probably forgetting someone. Who cares? It's late. So, what did I think of Wonder Woman 1984? I'm not gonna describe the plot because I think the trailers were pretty vague. Um, so I'm not gonna get into it, but regardless, let's talk about the pros and the cons of Wonder Woman 1984. So let's start off right off the bat. The biggest positive I can give this movie is Gal Gadot and Chris Pine. They're fantastic. They're fantastic. They are honestly amazing. The acting across the board I thought was very, very good. Um, Kristen Wiig, uh, this was this was the one that I said was iffy from the beginning, and watching the movie again, I don't know, it just kind of didn't do it for me. Like, she was trying to be Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns, and in ways I can kind of see it, and then there's other ways where I'm just like, what are you doing, bro? Um, the action sequences I thought were very well handled, although the effects sometimes look very fucking wonky, and I assume that this is the final cut of the movie. I did not look ready. There are a lot of times where I was like, man, imagine if we saw this in IMAX. The effects would be very fucking noticeable. The music by Hans Zimmer, do it, dude. You really want me to open my mouth and tell you that a Hans Zimmer score was bad? It's like telling me a fucking Star Wars score is bad. Are you kidding me? It's awesome. The score by Hans Zimmer is awesome. I love the new mix for the Wonder Woman theme song. It's fucking awesome. They don't overuse it like they did in the last movie. Like fucking every 5 seconds. No, bro. They use it sparingly and it's very good. The story I thought was very good. Is it original? No, but I thought for what it was, I thought it worked, and I think it did what it had to do. I like the messages the movie had, especially in its third act. I thought the last 10 minutes was very good in terms of everything with Maxwell Lord, not with Cheetah. I'll get to that in a second. But I really enjoyed the last 10 minutes. The mid-credit scene, I fucking loved. It's not like a holy shit moment, but if you're a fan of DC Comics, dude, you can't sit there and watch that and just be like, oh my god, that was not awesome. And there's a scene in this movie that made me lose my fucking bananas. And it's not even a big epic moment. It is just a scene that I can't talk about because it's so awesome. But for fans of the comics, it was awesome. But I think those are all of my positives with the movie. Kevin, who is here by the way, I thought I'd switch up the concept for this. Kevin, what were your positives of Wonder Woman 1984, good sir?
You're gonna hit it on the nail, but I think that the action was pretty well done. Um, the villain, for the most part, I think was pretty good. The main villain, not Cheetah, I forgot what, Maxwell. He was pretty good. I think that he was somewhat compelling. I think that he's a pretty good villain. I think the whole thing with Wonder Woman um, and Chris Pine, I forgot what his character's name is, Steve. But I think that they're both, the dynamic that they had throughout the movie, more or less like the story aspect, was pretty good. And yeah, other than that, I just agree with everything that you said.
And another thing I didn't mention, I feel like, and I don't have a problem with this because listen, if the actors are having fun, they're having fun. I feel like ever since Ewan McGregor was Black Mask and Birds of Prey, which Kevin still has not seen, but realistically he does not need to. Um, Ever since Ewan McGregor was casted in Birds of Prey and he was acting like a grade A lunatic, they're just gonna keep doing that with big actors because literally that's what they do with Pedro Pascal. Pedro Pascal is a fucking lunatic in this movie, and I loved every single second of it. He was having the time of his life, and it was just awesome. I loved seeing him. He was having a blast, and it's nice to see when actors are having a blast. But unfortunately, I did not have a blast all the way through Wonder Woman 1984. So, without further ado, let's move on to the negatives. And right off the bat, this movie is way too fucking long. This movie is way too fucking long. The first act of this movie was... I understand it is set up. I understand, but the first act of this movie was painfully boring. There's barely any action happening, and it was just so boring. It was so boring. Mind you, I hadn't slept all day. Maybe this was because of the fact that I hadn't slept. I want to think that that's what happened. I don't want to think that that's what the movie was. But I wasn't the only one. Me and my dad watched this together, and he almost fell asleep too. This movie's fucking long. Very long. And I didn't think it needed to be that long. Let's talk about Cheetah. I think Kevin had a lot more issues than I did, but I'm gonna get mine out the way really quick. I didn't hate Kristen Wiig at all. I thought it was fine, her performance. For the first 2 acts of the movie, I enjoyed Cheetah's presence. But I said when this movie was coming out, I said, listen, don't put Cheetah in this movie because you're wasting her big villain. And there's 2 villains in this movie. And I think that something's going to happen and she's going to get screwed. What happens? Something happens and she gets screwed. And I did not like it. I didn't like it. Now, I think Flashpoint could fix this, but it still proved my point. They did Cheetah, and it was for nothing. It just annoyed the shit out of me. The next thing I wanted to talk about is the special effects. I mean, I touched on it before, but some of the special effects were really bad. I mean, really bad. There were a lot of scenes where, the fucking lasso just looked so weird and, like, things would get thrown and it just look weird. Some green screen look awful. And I'm just like... And it's funny, too, because apparently Patty Jenkins came out the other day and said, oh, yeah, if it had released in 2019, it would have been worse. I mean, shit. Okay, bro. If you say so. But I just... There's a lot of moments in Wonder Woman where it's like, really... Like, that had to happen. And there's also parts where Maxwell Lord kind of goes over the top, too. And it's like, alright, bro, dial it back a little bit. Just a little bit. Those are really my only complaints. Kevin, did you have any more complaints than I did, or what?
My biggest issue with Cheetah is that... She has nothing. I don't know. I feel nothing with her. After she turns into Cheetah. It was just like, oh, she gets the powers, and obviously there's a drawback to it, which I guess is just her losing her humanity. But it's just like, what? I don't know. I feel nothing with Cheetah throughout the movie. You know, I thought she was a cool character, and I thought she was just going to stay that, you know, funny side character. But I guess she's Cheetah, and I don't know. I felt nothing with Cheetah. It was boring. I don't know. And that final fight, I was just like, I mean, the fighting stuff was cool, but the impact was just like, whatever. You know, you needed somebody powerful because, you know, if you're going to talk your way into taking down Maxwell, you're going to have a big fight, I guess. But it was just like, I don't know. I felt nothing with Cheetah. The way her motivation is just kind of weird. It was just, I don't know. I really felt nothing with Cheetah. She was boring. She was kind of bland. Maxwell, he was cool. Like, I'm not gonna say he's a bad villain, but I don't know. I feel like his motivation is just a little bit far-fetched. Just a little bit, you know. I mean, obviously for a main villain, it's gotta be far-fetched, but this one felt a little bit more far-fetched than it needed to be. I don't know. That's just my kind of thing. And I've kind of found it kind of funny, because I don't know if he can just control it, or he just didn't hear his son wish for him to come. I don't know.
Yeah, that part, I thought when that happened, I thought it was just gonna make everything go away, and it did not happen. So I was just like,
I was just like, well, you're granting everybody's wish, but you just happen not to notice your son.
I don't know. The way I saw Kristen Wiig, she was playing literally Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns. That, like, from the moment she stepped on screen, I'm like, she's doing Michelle Pfeiffer from Batman Returns, which wasn't a problem. And they actually did something in the third act with her character that I very much enjoyed, that I can't spoil because it's a spoiler, but it had to lead to Diana making a choice that was probably the best scene in the movie, emotional wise. There's another scene that I loved for other reasons, but you know, there's a choice with Cheetah that I really liked, but other than that, I do agree. The ending fight, I thought was just, They didn't really do anything cool. The armor is really cool. I like the story behind her gold armor. It's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer, but I don't know. But those are going to wrap up our thoughts on Wonder Woman 1984. Is it a good movie? Yes. Is it awful? No. I don't think this had a chance of being awful. It is a very, very good sequel that does not... I don't think it's better than the first one. And I'm assuming Kevin does not think so either, yes?
I don't think it's that bad, but I don't know. I feel like it could have been better.
Yeah, you're right. It actually absolutely could have been better. I feel like they should have... Without spoilers, I feel like if they didn't do Ares in the first movie, you could have taken the results of this movie's scenarios and set up Ares that way. But they didn't. Which apparently, according to Patty Jenkins this week, she didn't even want Ares in the movie. Warner Brothers shoehorned him in. So, sounds about right. But if I had to give it out of 10, I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Oh, excuse me. I think it's a very good movie that has a lot of problems, but it is still a very good movie, has very good messages, and yeah, it's still very good. But I would recommend, I'm not going to review it, but I would still recommend you see Soul instead. I loved Soul, and I gave it a 10 out of 10. It was probably one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year. It was fantastic. So I recommend seeing Soul over Wonder Woman, and it's also a much shorter movie over Wonder Woman, but both are easily accessible. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Hope you guys got lots of stuff, had time with family, all that bullshit. But thank you guys so much. Next week we will be finishing our Alien vs Predator well, not Alien vs Predator franchise, but we'll be finished Alien, with the Alien vs Predator movies. So Monday you will get AVP1, and on New Year's Day you will get Aliens vs Predator Requiem. A lovely rant to ring in the new year of 2021. And then after that, oh yeah, you laugh. But after this, we will be starting the MCU, and I cannot be more excited than anybody. Well, actually, Kevin might be more excited to do it than me, but regardless, I'm very excited for that, and I hope you guys are too. So, thank you guys so much again. Have a very blessed rest of your Christmas, and be on the lookout for more reviews in the near future, and stay safe out there. See ya.